Control there. Watch this again. This
for the Ponty team as they come up.
Coming a tour from Jan.
Tour de France? More like Tour de Loonies. This race has single-handedly garnered attention from the world for being a race filled to the brim with fearless daredevils and relentless adventurers who cycle a distance that most people won't even contemplate driving. So, with this outrageous race come some astonishing moments. From swerving cameramen to deceiving roads and even physical clashes between the competitors. So, let's check out the top 20 moments that made the Tour de France fans go, "Oh my god!" How extreme can a bicycling competition get? Is it really as chaotic as it's rumored to be? Let's find out.
Continue on in this. Here we go. We're going to see it. Hitting a bump there in the road with just at the moment he took his hands off the bars and Jens going down.
Number 20. At number 20 we have Jens Voigt, a man who can confidently be called half man, half bicycle. We can see this German daredevil speeding down the slopes at a rapid pace when all of a sudden he just falls over, like a tree in the breeze. Not the best way to end a race.
And it's not Contador yet who's reacted. Now he has. It was Vinokurov.
well, Vinokurov.
Oh, what's happened? His chain's off. Schleck's chain's off.
Yeah.
Well, what's it?
Number 19. Dang, it's win or be won over out here in this race. It's an unwritten rule in the bicycling world to stop behind someone who is leading if their bike has a mechanical problem. Except this time, Alberto Contador took the chance and overtook Andy Schleck. It seems like this thrill-seeker let the adrenaline get the best of him.
Several crashes, including two riders who were clipped by a news car. Evil news car. One slammed to the pavement, the other one flying into a barbed wire fence.
Number 18. Man, you just can't take a break in this race. Seems like the car that tried to tail the cyclists ended up rear-ending that guy and sent him swerving into the other fella. And to add insult to injury, he sent him hurtling into a barbed wire. Seems like even the safest of stretches in the race can be made into a nightmare if just one thing goes wrong.
Christoph opens up. Demar is coming. So too is Greipel. Cavendish goes into the barriers. Demar fights on. It's Christoph with Demar, shoulder to shoulder. It's the French champion who is the champion in Vital.
Number 17. Imagine being so close to the finish line after a grueling day of riding up and down hills, mountains and valleys just to be knocked into the barriers and taken out of the race by one cyclist who couldn't keep his lane. The UCI banned Peter Sagan, the cyclist who caused this crash into Cavendish after reviewing his wild swerve.
First of all, what did the medical checks show yesterday and how are you feeling?
Yeah, it showed a broken shoulder blade.
It was, how you see already also on the internet, it was, crazy sprint. It's not the first one like that and it's not last one like that. And so I wish to Mark recovery well and that's it.
In fact, the toe and Belocchi's gone down. Armstrong's off the road as well. Armstrong complete control there. He's into the field, but what a great bike rider. He's gone across. This is unbelievable. I've never seen this before. Armstrong went across the field there. He's back on the road at 4 kilometers to...
Number 16. Just look at that save. From almost crashing to gaining an edge on your competitors by a couple of seconds, this save by Lance Armstrong is considered to be one of the greatest of all time. Although the Daredevil champion was stripped of all his titles, this save is still one for the history books.
Christopher Froome qui n'a plus de vélo. Christopher Froome à pied. Mais quelle image du Tour. On n'a jamais vu ça. Un maillot jaune à pied.
On n'a pas eu l'image, mais
Number 15. Well, at number 15 we have the Tour de France going from a bicycling contest to a marathon. Chris Froome showed an incredible display of sportsmanship during the Tour de France 2016 edition when he started to run to the finish line after a motorcycle braked abruptly and caused him to crash. Great sportsmanship and even greater courage.
Armstrong, Ulrich and Iban Mayo were together on the ascent to Luzardiden with a small group behind them. The defending champion was setting the pace.
And now it was Iban. Oh, what's happened here? What has happened there?
It seemed quite a normal corner. He must have hit somebody in the audience. Mayo has gone. Now the situation. Remember.
Number 14. The odds were piled against Armstrong in 2003 from the start. As you can see from this clip, a child's bag ended up getting snagged on Armstrong's brake handle, causing him to tumble over and cause a pile-up. I can't imagine what the car ride home must have been like for that kid.
Yes or no? In all 7 of your Tour de France victories, did you ever take banned substances or blood dope?
Yes.
Number 13. This is a moment that shocked fans of the Tour de France and Armstrong around the world. Lance Armstrong, being a 7-time champion, had admitted that he had never once won fairly. It was truly a devastating moment for fans when he came clean on the Oprah Winfrey show.
Do you want to know what for? Tell me. They cheated by taking a train.
Train doping?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Number 12. And if you thought people played fair back in the day, you'd be horribly wrong. The second edition of the Tour de France in 1904 was rife with malpractices, and it was even found out that the top 12 cyclists had used trains to bypass sections of the race altogether.
He wins stage 5 to pure speed, absolute class. Cavendish wins the stage.
Great performance by Christophe to come back to the sprint. Coquart once again.
Number 11. This is the moment Mark Cavendish, one of the greatest daredevils of the Tour de France, cemented his place in history with his 35th stage win. This moment is one of the most revered moments for Cavendish fans, as it puts him right at the top, along with the cream of the crop like Eddie Max and Andre Leduc.
Mark, you've had a few moments to reflect. Where are you now in your head?
I want to just see my family and my teammates, really. That's all I want to do. I want to see those people that have been unwavering support throughout the last part of my career, really, do you know?
Number 10. At number 10, we have one of the greatest cyclists of all time, Eddie Max, getting sucker punched by a bystander. Max would be leading in the 14th stage of the race when this man, who was later identified as Nello Brayton, a local, would throw a hand straight into Max's chest, causing him to lose his breath. But in true style, Max would complete the race.
Hamilton, who won an Olympic gold medal during a successful cycling career, told the court he paid more than $40,000 a year to Dr. Fuentes for blood doping and other drug services to illegally boost his performance in competition.
Number 9. 2006 was a wild year for the Tour de France, and no, not in a good sense. 2006 is a year that became notorious for the high amounts of doping that occurred, and one man was behind it all. Dr. Eufemiano Fuentes. This man gave illicit blood transfusions with the intention of cheating drug tests and was on the payroll of many major league cyclists.
Festina, the world's #1 team, is out of the Tour de France after more than a week of speculation and the arrest of the team's management.
Number 8. Festina is now remembered as a lesson for future cyclists, instead of the decorated cycling team that they were. In 1998, the masseur at the Festina team would be caught with a number of banned substances that were nothing short of scandalous. With over 400 bottles of performance-enhancing drugs, Festina was immediately banned.
The following Martinelli is here too for the Polti team as they come up towards the line. Nelson is taking, and they've gone! They've gone one after the other. They've hit the barriers. Nelson was not looking where he was going.
Number 7. This crash was one of the most brutal in the Tour de France history. In 1994, Tour de France was fraught with misfortune in the very first stage when a police officer who stuck slightly out of the crowd ended up getting in the way of Wilfried Nielsen, who collided with a policeman and caused another subsequent crash. Both cyclists looked like car crash victims and had to forfeit the race. Truly disheartening.
First rider to catch a man today, and look at the ride by Bourman. This is going to be a superb time. Only Indurain or Robinger will get near this, I can tell you that now. Bourman on the line, 7:49.97.
Number 6. And coming into number 6, we get to revisit the moment the amazing Olympic gold medalist Chris Broadman secured the yellow jersey for Britain after nearly 60 years. Chris had taken on the monumental challenge of beating the time trials and beat it by such a large margin that he won the yellow jersey with no problem.
He had a minute and a half, and just who is that rider coming up behind? Because that looks like Voigt. That looks like Stephen Voigt. It's Stephen Voigt who's come over the line. He almost caught Pedro Delgado. I don't believe it. What a finish by Stephen Voigt. We never knew he was that close.
Number 5. This clip truly shows the fortitude you need to compete in this race. Stephen Roche had fallen so behind during the 1995 Tour de France that the cameras had also left him thinking he was of importance. But lo and behold, right as his opponent crossed the finish line, Stephen caught up and completed a close second.
Unfortunately, just like last year, stage 1 of the Tour de France has started with multiple crashes once again, the first caused by an idiotic fan putting their sign into the middle of the road.
Number 4. You can't talk about the craziest moments in Tour de France history without talking about this moment from 2021. This overly enthusiastic fan who wanted to cheer her grandparents stepped a bit too far into the track, causing one of the biggest pileups in the entire history of the Tour de France. Definitely the craziest moment in the history of the Tour de France.
We hadden het er net over. Het ging allemaal zo goed, maar dan gaat er eentje en dan kan je geen kant op. Oh, wat is dit een val. Cancellara ligt erbij, Dumoulin ligt erbij. Oh.
Number 3. Crashing in the Tour de France is like the setting off a chain of dominoes. Here, during stage 3 of the 2015 Tour de France, William Bonnet's bike ended up making contact with the one in front of him, causing him to lose balance and fall head-on into a peloton of enthusiastic cyclists behind him.
And no reply coming at all from Jan Ullrich. He took a look straight into the eyes there of Jan Ullrich and said, well, here I go, are you coming or not? And the answer is not.
Armstrong rode away, won the stage, and essentially the Tour with a show of strength, both physical and psychological.
Number 2. This moment is for the history books. Lance faked his fatigue just for his opponents to drop their guard, and right when they did, he gave them one last look and blasted right on ahead. He toyed with his competition to the very end.
Tour de France. Not only that, Phil, but he's going to also win the stage, I think, because look at that time. He's taken 30 seconds off Thierry Marie, 26.57. He goes into top place.
Number 1. This is the moment. Greg LeMond, the first ever American Tour de France champion, would make history by defying all odds. LeMond, who was not expected to win by any margin, ended up winning again in 1989 when Fignon, his competitor, came behind by a solid minute during the last stage.
10 seconds, can you believe that? Laurent Fignon has lost the Tour and Greg LeMond has won it.
It was the fastest time trial in history, the smallest margin of victory, and the greatest Tour moment, although perhaps not for Laurent Fignon.
Oh, he said congratulations, but what can you say? If I was in his shoes, I would be very upset to lose the Tour de France by 8 seconds.